That one will skip out of there, and then a foul called, trying to grab the rebound. So 0 for the last trip to the free throw line was Burlington Edison. This will be Briley Axelson-Nay at the stripe. Missed the first and another one on the way.
Now there's a boys' jamboree going on tonight too over at Mariner.
Mariner has a jamboree tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow in the afternoon. In fact, I think there's some girls' teams playing too, because they have a couple of gyms too. So Bothell usually has one as well. So some coaches don't like them.
No, and you can tell. I mean, you just look at schedule. You can see who's on them and who's not.
Right. Same with football. There's some coaches don't like football jamborees, although some will schedule a scrimmage with another team. It's not necessarily then a jamboree where you've got like 4 teams.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset that in football that you really need to, because if you're hitting your teammates, it's a little bit different than.
Yep. Exactly. That was a steal and a bucket by Emma Smith for the Tigers. 10-9 score. Reverse lay-in won't go, and we're going to have foul called. Coach Brett McLeod up doing some coaching from the sideline. Yeah, it'll take a while for the free throw eye to come back. Line change here. This is a hockey game right now. We've got 5 in and 5 out for Brian Hill, head coach of Glacier. Well, they got to the halfway mark of or inside 4 minutes to play, and he's subbed everybody in.
What do we say the statistic is that girls are better free throwers than the boys?
I don't think so.
No?
Maybe overall. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard that.
I think it was. I don't know if it's an official stat, but I know that when we're covering games, it just seems like middle of the season the girls are hitting more of the.
Tied up at 11. Glacier Peak with it. Safe. Going out of bounds, and they'll dump it in. Turnaround jumper. It's up and good. Nice looking play there. They got it to Madison Rubino. We're going to have a timeout called by Glacier Peak, and we'll step aside. 13-11 the score. Glacier Peak with 3:03 to go in this game, the first opening round. We'll be back with more after this. Glacier Peak leads 13-11, 3:03 to go in this opening round of the Jamboree, the 2019 Girls Basketball Jamboree here at Snohomish High School on this Friday evening, the Keith Gilbertson Senior Sports and Fitness Center. Lake Stevens and Snohomish will play in the next game. Lake Stevens, Burlington Edison then will play in Game 3, and Game 4 will be Snohomish Glacier Peak. Burlington Edison moving to our right. They're in the blue uniforms with gold numbers, and they've got the ball, and they've got a couple offensive rebounds, but they come away with no points, and Glacier Peak will have it. Malia Smith brings it up. Stop and a pop, too hard, no good by Maya Early. Back the other way for BE, and it won't go. Ball knocked out of bounds. Good defense there by Glacier Peak. And that will bring Miranda Nashel back in, along with Hannah Sayer. We didn't get heights for Burlington Edison, but they're not a lot of height out there. But as we mentioned, 6 postseason games. They made it to the Yakima Sun Dome a year ago. Glacier Peak made it to the Tacoma Dome in the 4As a year ago. There's a runner up and in. Briley Axelson-Nay with it. Ties it again at 13. Coming up on 2:10 now to play in the game. The Grizzlies moving to our left here in the white jerseys with the dark blue and silver. And the runner is up and in by Maya Erling. Gives the Grizzlies a 2-point lead. Minute 45 to go. Also give you a chance to do a little clock management too.
Exactly. And that's a job nobody wants right there is the shot clock.
Nobody. Yeah, if they ever come to you and say, hey, do you want to run the shot clock? You just run out of the door.
Exactly.
Foul called. Free throw here is Sydney Reisner. First one is good. Next one would tie. She won't. And the rebound by Madison Rubino. Rubino, the 6-foot junior post for Brian Hill and the Grizzlies. Long outside shot early in the shot clock that won't go. A miss there by Godines.
A takedown.
That long outside shot won't go, but another offensive rebound. Little scoop shot that will not go. That was Amy Renard-Hines who scooped the ball up and then fell to the floor. And it'll be Glacier Peak basketball leading by 1 with 1:07 to play. And Aaliyah Collins will bring it out of backcourt.
You know, she was a soccer star this year.
Right.
Fun fact.
Yep, she was a soccer star, and she's getting some interest.
I think this is where she wants to be.
In basketball?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but that'd be a good question for her with, later in the year if we get her up here for a player of the game because she, she was really good. I just know that on the court she seems to really shine.
Basketball's an hour and a half less and indoors and warm.
Exactly.
Didn't we just mention that about 10 minutes ago?
And I think more opportunity to score.
That's right. Although the free ride scholarships are just, we have a step out of bounds there by Burlington. Scholarship's a scholarship.
That's exactly right.
So down to 34 seconds to go in a 1-point lead for Glacier Peak, so they can take some time. 20 on the shot clock, about a 6-second differential. Yeah, I would think Burlington Edison will not take a couple of fouls here, as we mentioned. And now Brett McLeod wants to talk about it. Here's a chance. Let's play. Okay, 23 seconds to go in the game. We're down by 1 point. Here's what. Let's draw up a plan. They're going to get a couple of free throws here.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a chance to go through the entire gamut of things in a short amount of time. You get 10 minutes. You're, clock management, score management, being able to run a couple of plays that maybe at the end of the game will put you ahead.
You said running the gamut. Was that a setup for me to say brought to you by Gamut Holding today's game? Gamut 360 Holdings.
Running the gamut. I bet most of these millennials in here don't even know what running the gamut is.
That's true. Today's game also brought to you by Adrenaline Fundraising, by GNS Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and McDaniel's Do It Center.
McDaniel's have been a good supporter a lot of years for us.
You bet.
Yep.
You bet.
Good place to go get something, too, because, they have people wandering around just wanting to help you. You know what I mean? What do you do? I'm just waiting here for you.
Yeah. So 23 seconds to go, 23.3 to be exact. Here comes Burlington. They're ready to go. Same story for Brian Hill. He can just draw something up. Okay, here's the defense we're going to play. And they'll be ready to go. Lake Stevens Snohomish will come up next Lake Stevens, Burlington, Edison, then in Game 3. Game 4, Snohomish, Glacier Peak. 10-minute games in this Jamboree. There's the inbound, so no free throws here. The work at top, Maya Erling. They can use the entire clock because the shot, it was a fresh 30. Overplay, here's a steal. Steal by Burlington, down to 9 seconds to go, and a quick timeout call by Brett McLeod. So 8.9, you couldn't ask for something better.
Nope.
To work on things.
Exactly, and trust me, he wants a couple points here. He wouldn't be anything better than to walk away from taking one away from Glacier Peak.
As we mentioned, 2A girls a year ago, the Burlington Edison Tigers got to the first round. They lost to WF West 57-43 over in the Sun Dome. So the one and done over there, but hey, you made it to the Dome.
That's right.
There's about 60 other teams in your classification that says, yeah, we'd like to do that. Well, give me some of that.
Give me one shot at it.
Yep. And
Hi,
Burlington finished in second place in the Northwest Conference behind, of course, powerhouse Linden. Linden a year ago finished in fourth place in the state. They went in as the number 1 seed.
Linden did?
As the number 1 seed, yeah. But they got upset in the second round by East Valley of Spokane, who ended up in second place.
Boy, talking about upsets. Boy, there was some last weekend, huh?
Yeah, down to 5, down to 4. Burlington, will they get a shot? Who's going to take it? They never get a shot off. Good defense by Glacier Peak. They never get a shot off. And the final score will be the Glacier Peak Grizzlies 15 and the Burlington Edison Tigers 14 here. Game number 1 of the Snohomish High School 2019 Girls Basketball Jamboree. We're at Snohomish High School. Stay with us. Coming up in just a little bit, the teams will be warming up, and we will have the second game between Lake Stevens and Snohomish. So in game number 1 of the Jamboree on this Black Friday night, Glacier Peak wins it 15-14 over Burlington Edison. Thanks for being with us right here on STSPN.com.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Oh, you can't hear yourself? Why would that be?
And
Oh, yeah, there.
There we go.
And
yeah.
try that.
And we welcome. No, I'm not.
I can hear you. Try that.
We're here live tonight, and we thank you for being with us. Finally, that's why we're doing these, Todd.
Well, the question is why in the world would it do it? The table didn't get bumped.
No.
It didn't get nothing. Just
So we welcome you back. Snohomish High School 2019 Girls Basketball Jamboree on this Black Friday night. We're at the Keith Gilbertson Senior Sports and Fitness Center at Snohomish High School, and we're getting set for game number 2 of the quadruple header, if you will. 4 10-minute games. Everybody plays 2 games, And in this one, it's the Lake Stevens Vikings and the Snohomish Panthers. Tom Lafferty along with Todd Elvig here on STSPN.com. Our telecast tonight brought to you by Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe. The ball goes up and we're underway. First game, Glacier Peak won it 15-14. And we'll just be talking about the action on the floor and what these two teams will be doing. Snohomish coming in after just a very successful very successful stint down at the state tournament a year ago and finishing in 4th place. Snohomish by beating West Seattle in the 4th and 6th place game a year ago. Of course, Prairie, who Snohomish will play later in December, Prairie won the state championship a year ago. Then the Lake Stevens Vikings, been to the state tournament many times. They're not quite as successful a year ago. Lake Stevens ended in 2nd place, still works behind Glacier Peak. Glacier Peak finished at 13-0 in the Wesco 4A a year ago. Lake Stevens at 11-2, and Lake Stevens 12-9 overall. So they played a couple of postseason games. The Snohomish Panthers a year ago finished in 3rd place in the Wesco 3A at 11-2 behind Archbishop Murphy and behind Arlington. Of course, Archbishop Murphy, a 2A team and playing in the 3A league, so really Snohomish finished in 2nd place in the 3A portion, and they finished then 19-8, so they had 7 postseason games.
And they don't split that. They don't split the into north and south for basketball.
Nope, you put one time through. That's one of the strange things they do. One time through in the regular season rather than everybody in your division. For a couple years, it was everybody in your division twice and in the other division once. But then they went to the one swoop through. But there's about 15 teams, so. Long outside shot, no good. Snohomish for Kinsley Gallatin. Gallatin, who's already signed to play at Central Washington. She'll play for Randy Richardson, the former Arlington player who's the head coach at Central. And now for the Lake Stevens Vikings, it will be Corey Wilcox at the line. Now, so some of the teams have already put in their rosters, and they've got them all nicely done. It's on the website. Randy Edens, head coach of the Lake Stevens Vikings, brought me up and wrote them all out.
Yeah, no, I saw that when he brought it up on a yellow note paper.
Yellow note paper. But what do you notice about the yellow note paper? They're not in numerical order either.
And I'm not so sure that he wrote that out because that writing.
I think maybe he did.
You think so?
Yeah. Because I asked him what font that was. So
it's very nice, neat writing.
He's a teacher. A 6-0 lead for Lake Stevens over Snohomish. The Panthers, of course, what happens? They're in year 1 AD. You know what that means, don't you? Year 1 AD.
Year 1 AD. I don't know what that means.
After Duchesne.
Oh.
Yeah. Maya Duchesne, 4-year starter, has moved on. Coach Ken Roberts couldn't convince her to play a fifth year.
A 5th-year starter.
Some kind of medical red shirt or something. Try to get in there. So she played the starting point guard for 4 years for Snohomish. So this is after Duchesne. And the question, we talked to our friend Joel Boyer, who was going down to a Northwest District or Northwest American District USTA tennis tournament today.
He's playing in it?
No. His son is playing. And so that's why he's not here tonight. But he said the question will be for Snohomish, who will take Maya Duchesne's place at the point guard. So I'm sure that's what Ken Roberts is watching intently to see who's gonna handle the ball for the Panthers. And for Lake Stevens, they're up 6-2 here, 7:36 to play in their game. Again, Glacier Peak got the win 15-14 in Game 1 over Burlington Edison. Lake Stevens with Reagan Reed, who is a Boise State commit.
Oh, yeah, she's all business.
Oh, yeah. And Reagan is wearing 22. That's her there, top of the key.
She's a good interview, too.
Yeah, yeah. Very level-headed, but she'll be heading for play for the Broncos. They don't have to play on the blue turf.
They don't have a blue court?
I don't think they have a blue court. They should.
I think that would be a kind of a signature item.
First free throw, no good for Corey Wilcox. Snohomish will make a sizable line change here. Lake Stevens, they are opening up a brand new gym. They get in there in a couple of weeks, so they kind of, coach was saying they're going to be a little light on the opening couple of weeks of the season because they wanted to make sure that they could play in that brand new gym. Beautiful. It's going to be a lot like the North Creek gym, big video boards and the like. If you haven't seen Lake Stevens High School, we did a couple times when we were out there for football. They just tore that place down and are rebuilding the entire Lake Stevens High School. So they will open their regular season next Friday the 6th at Arlington. Then their first home game in their brand new gym will be Friday the 13th against Edmonds Woodway. And that
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th in the new building. They will play Snohomish at home as well on Saturday, December 28th. So these two teams will play each other again during the regular season. They'll also play Lake Stevens will in the top of the peak tournament. I don't know how they're in the top of the peak tournament on the 30th. On the 28th, it runs on the 28th, doesn't it? And they're playing Snohomish?
That seems a little... there should be a question mark after that one, Tom.
That's ambitious scheduling if you're scheduling two games in one day. Outside air ball back in, and that is Reagan Reed right there. As we mentioned, a Central Washington commit. 6:10 to play in this game. 9-4 lead for the Vikings. Still a sad place out at Lake Stevens High School after their football team lost to Mount Si a week ago.
Yeah, I think they're probably still in mourning.
Yep. But they're happy today because Jacob Eason led the Huskies to the Apple Cup win.
I saw he was the first one off the bus.
Yeah. Here's the couple of would-be lay-ins wouldn't go. Snohomish a miss there by Grace Van Asche and by Sarah Rogers. So Panthers playing tough defensively, but they're not getting the shots to go.
So here's a question for you. So if Easton was the first one off the bus, where's the bus coming from? Because it was at UW.
Right. They stay in a hotel.
Oh.
On Friday night or the night before. So last night they all went to probably had Thanksgiving dinner together, I'm guessing, last night at whichever hotel on the east side or someplace they would go. So they kind of sequester them on game night. All NFL teams do that.
I just thought it was kind of a,
Yeah. So here comes Snohomish going down, lay-in, no good by Cheyenne Rogers. Foul call. Mentioned Snohomish with last year in the 3A district. They swept that, beat Ferndale, Shorecrest, and Arlington. And then the regionals beat Lake Washington 38-35, and then went to the state tournament. On Wednesday, beat Seattle Prep. On Thursday, lost to Kamayakan, and then beat Edmonds Woodway on Friday, and then Saturday in the placement game, beat West Seattle 38-33, and took fourth place a year ago down at the Tacoma Dome at a timeout on the floor called by Ken Roberts of the Snohomish Panthers. We'll step aside with 5:08 to go, just about halfway through. 9-5 lead for Lake Stevens over Snohomish. Back with more right here on STSPN.com.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
.508 to go. Lake Stevens and Burlington Edison will play the next game. The Snohomish Glacier Peak will wrap it up here on this Friday evening in this Jamboree at Snohomish High School, the Keith Gilbertson Senior Sports and Fitness Center. And here we go. Lake Stevens with the lead and the basketball. They work it down low underneath. Missing a couple of shots is Carmen Long, and she'll have to earn them at the free throw line. Lake Stevens did play in the West King tournament, but lost both their games in the postseason a year ago. Lost to Inglemoor and then lost to Issaquah. And that was that for the Vikings a year ago. I'm guessing that Coach Edens and the Vikings are looking for a deeper run into the postseason this year.
Now, are you a West King fan?
I am.
Okay.
You're not?
Well,
It's a gamble.
it is a gamble. That's the thing. It's a challenge.
It can be, depending, if. But what I'm not a fan of is Kamiak and Jackson playing 4 times.
Yeah,
Because your district tournament ends up being the same people you just played a week ago.
that is correct. No, that and
Glacier Peak
that's
doesn't
what
need
was
to play-
happening. Yep.
Glacier Peak played Jackson that one year four times.
Yep. And
No wonder you're sick of each
and
other.
it might have been the same result every time. I'm not sure what that was that
Sure.
year, but
Yeah, so you got to play somebody else.
Yep.
Now, you're combining your berths, but if you have 4 really good teams, you can get 4 in, and the other league only gets 1. But if they have 4 really good teams, you may only get 1. It's a gamble.
well, it is King.
It's Kinko.
Yeah. So that's where the gamble lies.
Right. So last year in the 4A girls regional round, after the district, only Glacier Peak made it out of the Western Conference.
But they didn't win the district. Is that
No.
right? There was something funny about that. I think that therein lies what I was kind
Right.
of alluding to on the, you're not getting a trophy for the district, although you did win the
No.
district because
No,
you
they
had
lost to Woodinville.
right, but they had enough wins
Right.
that they would have been automatic to win the district.
Well, and last year's district, if you recall, most of it was canceled and blown out by the weather.
Yeah.
It was all snowy, so that whole thing kind of blew up in everybody's face. So a year ago, Glacier Peak is the only one in out of the 4A to the regionals, and Eastlake, Woodinville, Inglemoor. Who else? And that was it. So 3 teams from the Kinko 4A did make the regionals.
The danger.
It's a danger. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a gamble. But on the boys' side, you get a Glacier Peak in there, and you also get a Jackson in there going down to the Tacoma Dome. And you would maybe only get 1 if
If it would have been separate.
Sure.
Right. Yep.
Yep. It's always a gamble. And that's why the athletic directors get the big bucks to make those determinations. But I think the main thing was you just can't play the same team four times in the same year. And sometimes you play them twice within 6 days.
Yeah, exactly. No, that and that is a big deal. The other side of it, as a parent, sometimes you'd like to see your kids come home with a district title.
Right.
Right. And when
Just
when
print
you
up
go
a participation trophy and for the millennials, and you'll be
yeah,
good.
that's right.
By the way, we keep score.
Yeah.
Oh, there are no winners and losers. Yes, there are. We spent a lot of money on the scoreboards.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
We're at 4 minutes to play in this one. And so far, Lake Stevens had their way. They lead at 12-5. Panthers will move it around. But pretty tough defense. Kind of a hallmark of Lake Stevens. Playing their zone, 2-3 zone here. A long outside shot won't go. And then a rebound grab down for the Vikings by Chloe Pattison. Then an errant throw down the floor, and it'll be turned right back over to Snohomish. Panthers in red on their home floor. They're the visiting team here in this game. They'll switch jerseys for the second game that they play, fourth game of the evening. Lake Stevens in the white home uniforms, trimmed in purple and gold. Snohomish, they will host Ferndale on Tuesday night. You see that game right here on STSPN.com. You can also hear it on KRKO, 1380 AM and FM 95.3, by the way. In fact, they have opening up a 3-game homestand. Then Friday the 6th against Cedar Crest here. That's a league game. And then Glacier Peak on Monday the 9th. Then, as we mentioned, then the trip down to Prairie and Union for both Glacier Peak and Snohomish on Friday the 13th and Saturday the 14th. A road trip down to Vancouver. Inside 3 minutes to play here, and the Vikings with a 7-point lead over the Panthers.
She got a little bit too excited on that one. How tall is 52 anyway? She's pretty tall.
52 for Lake Stevens?
Yeah.
Well, in that beautiful handwritten
Yeah,
yellow legal pad roster that I have,
he didn't
put the heights and the grades. So sorry.
I had to ding him on that
We'd
one.
like to give. We've worked with Coach Edens here on broadcast here on STSPN.com.
Yeah, great
as well.
guy.
Looks like maybe the JVs next door.
Just let out?
Somebody's done because they're playing the JV portion of this tournament over at the auxiliary gym, which is about 10 yards behind us. But a whole bunch of people, at least, or else the trolley just got in from Husky Stadium.
Yeah, that's. Well, we had guests at the house there at Thanksgiving, and I said, the Apple Cup's going on right now, and they're like, maybe we want to go now before that thing lets out.
Yeah. The old 745 bus just pulled up. So.
Oh, there's some people next to us really happy to see each other.
2 minutes to go. 8-point lead for Lake Stevens, and the Vikings have the basketball. Nice defense there. Little block by Kinsley Gallatin. Gallatin definitely will be the focal point of the Snohomish Panthers this year. 5'10 senior, as we mentioned, on her way to Central. 15 on the shot clock. Well, offensive rebound back up. That one won't go either, so the outside shots are not going.
What have we seen tonight? One?
Maybe 1-3 that goes in. That's a 2 for Sarah Rogers. It's good. The lead is 6 with minute 10 to go. That's Reagan Reed. Shot up and no good. Camille Jench. And she'll have to earn them at the free throw line. A little long with the first one. So we'll, at the end of this, we'll take a little break as the teams come out and warm up, although Lake Stevens is warmed up and Burlington Edison's already played, so I've got to guess it's going to be a fairly brisk turnaround between games. It'll be Lake Stevens and Burlington in game 3 of the quadruple header. .45 seconds to go. Snohomish down by 6. as they work it around for a 3 ball. Goes deep in the well, won't go. Kinsley Gallatin with the miss. Regan Reed with the rebound for Lake Stevens. She forgot the ball. She pushed on Gallatin and left the ball. Outside 3 ball. That's the DeShane shot right there. Ella Gallatin, the sophomore.
I think they were going to keep going back to that until they got it.
Well, yeah. Little jumper won't go. Back up it will go, and that will be just about that. Camille Jench with the bucket, and this game draws to a close. And the final score, it will be the Lake Stevens Vikings 17 and the Snohomish Panthers 12. Still to come, Lake Stevens and Burlington Edison, and then Snohomish and Glacier Peak. We're halfway through the 2019 Girls Basketball Jamboree at Snohomish High School, and we'll come back. Lake Stevens, Burlington Edison, Snohomish, Glacier Peak wrap up the evening right here at STSPN.com.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family. That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
We're getting set for Game 3 of our quadruple header here on STSPN.com. We're at Snohomish High School's Keith Gilbertson Senior Sports and Fitness Center on this Black Friday night, the 2019 Girls Basketball Jamboree, featuring the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, the Snohomish Panthers, the Lake Stevens Vikings, and the Burlington Edison Tigers. And here in Game 3, it is Lake Stevens playing back-to-back game, and they'll take on Burlington Edison. Burlington losing to Glacier Peak in the first game, 15-14. Lake Stevens got Snohomish in Game 2, 17-12. And then Snohomish and Glacier Peak will wrap up the evening here.
I think they worked it out so that the Burlington Edison and Lake Stevens, who are the furthest away, they get to get on the bus.
They can head out of here, except if I know the coaches and the players, they stay for 10 more minutes and watch the other team, because some of these teams will play each other later in the regular season. And we're underway here. 1 10-minute quarter, if you will, as it's Lake Stevens in the home white, trimmed in purple and gold, and Burlington Edison in the traveling navy blue and the gold. And a shot no good for Burlington's Miranda Nashell. Burlington will keep it alive, though. Fight for it on the ground. And it's going to be a jump ball, so alternating possession.
Wow, that was a little bit more scrappy than you'd see in a Jamboree.
Yeah. Both these teams are warmed up. They've already played one game, so now they can get after it. Lake Stevens with a 2-0 lead. We mentioned Lake Stevens will open regular season play Friday the 6th at Arlington. And then they'll open up their new gym. The boys play on a Wednesday night, the 11th, brand new gym. Wrestling match, which is a big deal in Lake Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
On Thursday night, then the girls will get to Friday the 13th against Edmonds Woodway. And then they open up league play, Lakeville against Jackson on Tuesday the 17th. They'll play Jackson and Mount Vernon prior to the Christmas break. They'll play Snohomish and then in the top of the peak tournament as well. They also play on Thursday the 2nd against Inglemore. One of Coach Randy Eden's former players is a coach at Inglemore, and he wanted to make sure they got in the new gym so she could see that, bringing her Inglemore team in. Burlington Edison, they'll play Arlington as well Wednesday the 4th. Then against Mount Vernon, Battle of the Bridge from the north end against the Mount Vernon Bulldogs on Friday the 6th. Saturday the 7th, home at 3 o'clock afternoon game against Port Angeles. We'll make the trip over. And then they play in Port Townsend during the holidays. I've always wanted to go to this. The Crush in the Slush tournament. It's over at Port Townsend. On Friday the 27th, they're going to take on Nia Bay. And then they'll play Granite Falls over at the Crush in the Slush.
Holiday tournament.
The holiday tournament, Port Townsend. Wouldn't that be nice? Go over there to the peninsula?
Absolutely.
Go to Port Townsend.
Port Townsend or Port Angeles?
Port Townsend. The ferry, that's where the ferry goes, over there.
Yep.
Port Townsend. In fact, our friend Pat Castro, who's longtime official scorer for the Everett Aqua Sox and my spotter and statistician, taught for 5 years at Port Townsend High School.
Well, and he's got pretty good hearing, too, because I know that when you're down there behind the scorer's bench, he could all of a sudden, he's like, well, this is what's going on.
Right. 7-2 lead for Lake Stevens.
What'd you get for Black Friday?
Not one thing.
That a boy.
But I'm also, just so you know, I'm not going to take part in Cyber Monday either. So.
Yeah.
You know, you can just tell by watching that Lake is going to be tough this year.
Yeah. They turned it up a little bit here in this second 10-minute.
Yeah, and they strategically, Lake Stevens is not going to play Glacier Peak tonight in the Jamboree because that's a regular season league game.
Well, that's what's curious about this top of the peak because last year all the teams that were at the top of the peak were not in. None of them were in the same. I guess that's not true.
No,
because
Lake Stevens
Kamiak or somebody was there.
Lake Stevens was there last year. No, they weren't. No, because Randy Edens came and did color with us.
Correct. I think it was Prairie and WW West and Sunnyside.
Right. I want to say Davis. AC Davis, the Pirates. Orange.
Kentwood or Kent somebody?
Kent Wood. If you're expecting all of us, you and me, to remember 8 teams, you got
a year ago. What?
You got another thing coming. 10-4 the lead for Lake Stevens over Burlington Edison.
How big is Burlington Edison as a school?
It's a 2A school, so it's smallish sized.
And it's public school?
Yep. It's the Burlington Edison. Edison's very small, but Edison is a separate town, but it's very small. So, although it's growing, Mount Vernon, when they renumber everything here in a year, I think the complexion of the entire Western Conference will severely change. And the teams you think that we play against in this league won't be the teams you play anymore.
Well, I think that some of these schools have gotten a little bit larger, let's say, and when they break schools up in the urban area and have more high schools, they just don't have the same number of kids.
Right.
But it's complex,
Sure. Well, and there's the whole travel thing too. Hermiston, Oregon is in the Mid-Columbia League. They're in with the Tri-City team because they're a big school. It's a big town out in eastern Oregon, but it's about 200 miles to travel to play league games. And
Yeah,
that's
gotta be
bad
ridiculous.
enough for a football game on a Friday night, but you're talking the girls' swim team has to drive into downtown Portland.
Ping pong.
Ping pong or lacrosse, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But in trade, they're going to get a couple of the small B schools are going to play some of the teams in eastern Oregon and eastern Washington. It's just the economics of it, and the scholastic part of it too. Oh yeah, we have to leave class at 11 in the morning in order to get there by 2:30 for the for a match this afternoon.
Now, how does that work in some of the, like in Boise and a few others? They have some 5A schools. I mean, they have like a 5A district.
Right.
Do they have that many 5A schools that are close that they can?
Well, of course, each state can call it whatever they want to.
Right.
You can call it 5A. Here in the state of Washington, we probably really have 6A because we've got 1A and 2A, 1B, 2B. Well, you could give them each could all be A schools too. Just depends on how many schools you have and what WIA is going away from is there has to be 65 or 66 schools in each division.
They're going to go away from that.
They're going away from that.
Well, that's going to be interesting.
Here's the line, and if it's, I'm making up numbers, if it's 1,200 students and everything above that, okay, there's 76 schools that are that big, okay? We're going to have a state tournament, but it's going to be 24 teams instead of 16 teams. But if you're also, let's say, the 3As and they have 47, okay, you're going to have a 12-team state tournament. The number of teams qualifying will determine how big the tournament bracket is. It's complicated.
And then where are they going to go with the private school?
Well, that's it. But and it's all going to have to do with free and reduced lunches too. So you'll get different percentages. So you can have more students if you have more students that are free and reduced lunch, which means the economics of the school of the school district and of the area. There's some really areas that they're very well off, but you also have pockets of in each. We're here in this jamboree. We're talking philosophy. There's also pockets of poorer areas in a rich school district.
No, that is right. And how do you equal that out?
You're right. Right. It's a whole different thing.
I don't think any of these schools here tonight have that issue.
No. 14-9, 5-point lead for Lake Stevens, 5:16 to go, coming up on halfway through this game 3. Lake Stevens won their first one by 5 over Snohomish. Corner jumper for Burlington Edison. That'll pull them closer. That's Sydney Reisner with that one. And it's a 2-point ball game at the 5-minute mark. Reagan Reed with the basketball, wearing 22. She's the Boise State commit.
We're going to hear a lot of her name later.
A lot. A whole bunch. She's still on the dribble. 5 to shoot. And here's a steal. Taken away.
I don't think she meant that to be a trip. I think she's going for the ball, but it looked like it.
Right. So it'll be Burlington ball, and a 2 ball will tie this thing up with 4.5 to go. Another outside shot. That one won't go. That's Reisner.
Ooh.
And then down hard is Jordan Smith. And so it'll be Tigers basketball baseline. With 28 on the shot clock. Outside three.
Boy.
That's a lead right there. Hannah Sayer drains the three ball straight on. And it's a 1-point lead for Burlington Edison over Lake Stevens. Just about the time you think Lake Stevens is going to run away with this one. They've kind of gone with ill-advised shots on the offensive end. And here's good defense down the floor. Sydney Reiser on the defense. Then another bad pass down the floor. It's going to be stolen away for Burlington Edison. Grabbed by Amy Renard-Hines, and then stolen right back, and then stolen right back.
They're playing catch.
That's right. With the other team.
Yeah.
You take it. No, I've got it. And for Burlington, checking in is Emma Smith. For Lake Stevens, checking in is Chloe Pattison. Keely Foster will go to the bench for the Vikings. Their head coach, Randy Edens. Brett McLeod, the head coach of the Burlington Edison Tigers. Tigers get it back. Leading by 1. Corner, no. And a rebound grabbed by the Vikings. Grabbed by Monet Rundle.
Let's see if we can get Randy up here after this game's over if he sticks around for a little bit.
Dribbling in, no. Down low for Lake. Second chance, no. So Emma Lund, 2 chances at it, neither would go. Foul called on Lake Stevens. So give it right back over to Burlington Edison.
I think those two went at it for the ball down on the other end here just a couple of plays ago.
Yep. Both teams shuttling players in. Tigers with it in the blue uniforms to our right. Good ball movement there. Out for an outside three ball. That's an air ball. A miss by Miranda Nashel. .221 to go. Lake outside three. Banks it in. Chloe Pattison banks it in. And that will give the lead back to Lake Stevens. And we'll step aside with 2:11 to play in this one. 17-15 Lake Stevens leading Burlington Edison. Back with the final 2:11 after this.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
.211 to go and a 2-point ball game. Here, game 3 of this quadruple header for the Snohomish High School 2019 Girls Basketball Jamboree at Snohomish High School tonight on this Black Friday evening. And Burlington Edison down by 2 now. They have the basketball. As they'll move the basketball around. Top of the key, 3-ball, too long, no good. Emma Smith with the miss. Cleared out by Lake Stevens. They have the lead. They can burn some clock here. As Baylor Thomas will stand out by the center logo. Looks for a screen. But if you're that wide open, you got to take it, but it won't go. Chloe Pattison with the miss, but kept alive, got her own rebound, saved her from going out of bounds, but she stepped on the out of bounds line. So it'll be right back over to Burlington Edison, down by 2. Now the Tigers, chance to tie or take the lead. Good defense there by Lake Stevens. Will it go? It won't. A little runner that won't go for Emma Smith. Back up. Too hard, no good. And a miss there by Briley Axelson-Nay. And we're inside a minute to play. Again, Lake, early in the shot clock, takes a shot, but they grab an offensive rebound. Kick it back out. It's a 2-point lead for Lake Stevens. That runner won't go. It's there. And up before here comes Burlington again. Will it go? It won't go. Off-balance shot there by Renard Hines. 31 seconds to go. Down it goes. It will not go. A miss there. Corey Wilcox. Now Burlington with it. .15 seconds to go. Can they tie it up? Nope. It's going to be stolen away. Down to 10 seconds to go. Will they go in for a lay-in? They do, and that will be about that. No, a timeout called by Burlington Edison, but it's a 4-point ball game.
I think he was thinking about that timeout before she made that 2.
Burlington had a couple of chances, but they just could not get the shots to go down.
And boy, the height of that Camille, that I think that really has helped a couple of times because she's able to do that little tip drill down there underneath the basket.
Yep. So Snohomish Glacier Peak will wrap up the evening here. Nice crowd on hand. As we mentioned, the JV portion of this tournament going on next door in the auxiliary gym. And here we go, the final 5.6 seconds. And it'll be Lake ball, and here we go. Inbounds, and they lost it. I don't think that's the way that they drew that one up. Renard Hines lost the handle on it.
She almost might have lost a couple of teeth into that bottom row there.
Inbounds. Will they get a shot even off? They do not. And that will be that. And it will be the Lake Stevens Vikings coming from behind and winning it 19-15 over the Burlington Edison Tigers. So stay with us. Snohomish Glacier Peak will wrap up the evening here from Snohomish. Stay with us right here on STSPN.com.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family. That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
And we're ready for Game 4 of the Jamboree tonight, the 2019 Girls Jamboree at Snohomish High School, the Keith Gilbertson Senior Sports and Fitness Center. And to wrap it up, a little cross-district rivalry between the Snohomish Panthers and the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Glacier Peak won their first game 15-14 over Burlington Edison. Snohomish lost their first game 17-12 to Lake Stevens. And so Snohomish and Glacier Peak will do battle here. They will play for reals on Monday the 9th. And that'll be right here at Snohomish High School in a regular season game, non-counting game. They're in separate leagues. Snohomish in the 3A division and Glacier Peak in the 4A. And we are underway here, 10-minute half, 10-minute quarter or whatever it is, 10-minute game, and we'll be done. We'll be wrapping it up here. So Glacier Peak in the navy blue moving to our left. They are the visiting team here. Snohomish, the home team on their home floor. They are in the white and tipped away there by the Snohomish Panthers. Ella Gallatin. Gallatin, we mentioned on their first game. She is a commit to Central Washington University. She'll be a Wildcat. She'll play for Randy Richardson, who, by the way, Randy Richardson, who played for Joe Marsh up at Arlington. I know she has a hyphenated last name. For the life of me, I can't ever remember. You know, they get married and then they get a different name.
Isn't that right?
So here's Glacier Peak moving it around. Down low it goes, won't go. And then back out. It'll be a shot clock violation. Both these teams placed at the state tournament a year ago. Snohomish comes in fourth place last year. And the Glacier Peak Grizzlies finished also in fourth place. So a little Snohomish connection down south.
I think that's the first time we heard that buzzer tonight.
Yeah, shot clock violation. So Snohomish with their first possession here. And they'll work it around, but it'll be stolen away. Down in, laying up, good. A steal there by Collins, and then the bucket is good, and it's a 2-0 lead here early on, just about 1:05 into this final game of the night here in Snohomish. Outside three ball, rattles out, no good. Cheyenne Rogers, and then the putback up and in. A 2-2 tie. We mentioned in their first game, this is year 1 AD for Snohomish. AD standing for after Duchesne. Maya Duchesne, a 4-year starter. Couldn't get her back for a 5th year, so they'll have to soldier on without her. Glacier Peak bucket there by Madison Rubino.
That means we won't see that much of her dad then this year, probably.
No. Well, yeah, probably not. He's got the principal of Mariner High School. He probably should go to like Mariner games.
Yeah, that's.
In fact, he had mentioned to me too that his staff was really good about you go watch Snohomish play. That's what you need to do. We'll take care of. But I think they're going to be calling in favors
exactly
with the principal.
They're going to take a little bit back out of the bank.
Yeah.
She might have taken a step on that.
Long outside shot, that won't go. That's a miss there by Malia Smith. And it will be a...
Grizzlies showing a little bit of that fierce defense that they just are unrelenting. And Hill was mentioning a little bit. He said he's not going to turn it up too high tonight.
Right.
They just won't stop. They're just in your face.
(4-2) lead for Glacier Peak. Snohomish with it. And here's a steal. Grabbed here by Aaliyah Collins. Goes in. Won't go. But a follow-up rebound up and in. That's what Brian Hill wants to see. And Maya Erling there with the follow-up offensive rebound of the bucket back in. The lead is 4.
I think they get that momentum going forward, and sometimes they just get a little bit too far under the basket before they let that go.
Yeah. Glacier Peak. As they work it over Collins. Then she'll dump it off. A little too flat, a little too hard with that shot there for Rubino inside.
Oh, Ken sees something he wants to change up a little bit.
Little coaching opportunities. The coach will call a timeout. We'll step aside. 6:34 to go here in this ball game and in the tournament. 6-2 the lead for Glacier Peak. Back with more right after this.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Couple of fourth place finishing teams a year ago down at the state tournament in Tacoma Dome. Snohomish in the 3A, Glacier Peak in the 4A, and they're playing tonight. They'll play for real again on Monday the 9th, and then they'll travel together at the end of that week down to Union and Prairie, returning the favor that Union and Prairie came up here on a Friday and Saturday night and played against Snohomish. Of course, there's a big Snohomish, Glacier Peak, Snohomish, Prairie, Union connection with Rory Rosenbaugh from Glacier Peak, who went to Snohomish High School, who's now athletic director at Union High School and football coach. And Jason Castro is athletic director at Prairie High School, who went to Snohomish High School. So it's just a whole big thing. Plus, it's not bad to go down and play some quality opponents too.
Isn't that always? I think that's the biggest thing is you got to see match up against some people that know what they're doing in order to learn a little something once in a while.
Right, and the lead is now 7 points for Glacier Peak. Look like they're just another reload team, but there's an outside three ball that goes down for the Snohomish Panthers. Cheyenne Rogers buries it, and Maya Duchesne. We mentioned this is year one AD after Duchesne. Maya Duchesne's going to play at Northwest College.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine she wasn't going to do something because, man,
Right.
she just she liked it. She liked the game too, you know.
Oh yeah,
Nice kid. We gave her a Player of the Game shirt towards the end of last year, and she just really.
she only got one from you.
Well,
You cheapskate.
we tried to spread it around.
Oh, we do the same thing on the radio side too. Yeah, how come? Well, he had 7,000 yards. Yeah, but he got a shirt last week. Sorry.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
just-
Yeah.
And how come you named that lineman? Because we had a 3X shirt.
Yeah. Nobody knows that. Though.
Let's raise the curtain here. Yeah, why'd that offensive lineman get it? Because we had a 3X shirt. That's all we brought with us. Outside three ball, down it goes for Snohomish. Jada Anderson, the freshman, 5'3". And it's a 3-point lead for Glacier Peak, who will be in the running to take the place of Maya Duchesne at the point, running the point for the Snohomish Panthers. There, that one won't go.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an errant.
Yeah. Well, and then an answer on the other end that won't go. That's going to be missed by Kaylin Allison. Snohomish works it around, down by 3. A little more than halfway through this.
That's a different 5 than we saw earlier.
Yeah. I was looking for number 5 out there. I didn't see it. Yeah. I think Brian Hill likes to go with a set of 5 and then answer and put in another set of 5. Yeah, you're not playing for the win here tonight. You're playing to see combinations, just playing to see who's going to play well against some pressure, who's going to play well against another team, who's going to go and save a ball and then dribble through and put it up too hard off the glass and it won't go.
Boy, she had a long reach out to get that ball out of bounds, though.
Yes, she did. Cheyenne Rogers. I think now here the last couple of minutes you may see some little more situational substituting. Like here, Snohomish will put just one in. And that'll be Ella Gallatin will check in, take the place of Cheyenne Rogers.
You know, I think mentally, though, this it is a little bit important that one of them wins it because, you know, when they go into that game next,
Sure.
there'll be a little of that in the back of their head.
Yep, you bet. The steal and then the dribble and the bucket. It's up and it's good. That was Gracie Van Asche. And let's just talk a player like Gallatin, Kinsley Gallatin. You know what she can do.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to. I don't need to see what she can do. I know that. So let somebody else play. She's out there, but Ella gets the rebound. But you also want to see what the other players can do.
Oh, absolutely.
With the star player.
Yep. You know, it's funny. You hear some names that kind of stick with you, and I don't know, a dozen years ago, I remember Van Asche, a couple
Sure.
of football players or basketball or something.
You haven't been around as long as I have. There's been Van Asches in Snohomish since the dawn of time, since Mr. Blackman was digging the lake. Since dinosaurs roamed the earth. Deep ball that will not go for Soderstrom. Back out, Snohomish reloads for another 3 ball, too long, no good. Jade Anderson missed that one. Another reload, another offensive rebound. Now Brian Hill's going to say, could we block out maybe? Wide open, 3, won't go. Snohomish had, 4 chances there?
Boy, they did.
And it wouldn't go, and they go down, and they get the bucket on the other end. It's good. Shaylin Sandy with it, and she will go to the free throw line. It's a 1-point lead. Oh, excuse me. They put up the wrong score for the wrong team. It's 13-10 now, a 3-point lead.
Oh, she could have jammed something. She's bleeding.
Yeah, they brought her off the floor. That's Gracie Van Asche. And so, 14-10 the score. Coming up on 2 minutes of play in this one. Panthers, who had 4 shots at it, 3 of them outside the arc the last time down the floor. This time they'll go a little closer. No, it'll be knocked away. Good defense there by Glacier Peak. It's going to be picked off there and grabbed by Madison Rubino. Back out for a 3 ball on the way. It's good. Down it goes for Malia Smith of Glacier Peak. And it's a 7-point lead, 17-10.
Boy, this is going to be a good one coming up this year when these two play.
Yep. As we mentioned, they play on the 9th. It'll be at Snohomish right back here on the 9th. Monday night game. Snohomish over the holidays will also play Burlington Edison, so they played earlier. So Snohomish is going to drop their 2 games tonight. Burlington Edison drops their 2 games tonight. Lake Stevens goes 2-0. Glacier Peak is going to go 2-0 if this one stands with 1:05 to go and a 7-point lead. Shot clock violation by Snohomish. Couldn't get a shot off. That drained the clock just about down, and we're at 1 minute to play.
Wasn't the other shot clock violation by Glacier Peak earlier in this?
No, it's by Snohomish as well.
Oh, was it?
Yep. Steele, Glacier Peak playing that tough defense they like to do. Long cross court. Going in, Sandy up, no good. And she'll get a couple of opportunities. I think 7 points has been the biggest lead we've had by any team tonight. And it's going to could go to 8 here with a couple of free throws. Could go to 9 with a couple of free throws.
Did you do that math quick?
I did. It's 8 now. One more makes it 9. We have to say,
that was. Sorry,
violation.
can't do that.
Yeah, violation. Steve Willits, our friend, has got his earphones in and listening to STSPN at the Westlake Mall Food Court.
Nice.
I like the Westlake Mall Food Court, right up there at the top floor. What if he went to Sbarro? Could be. Outside shot, 3 ball on the way. Good. Down it goes.
Look at that.
Cheyenne Rogers with the bucket. And it's a 5-point lead with 18 seconds to go. 18-13 the score. Glacier Peak can play for 1 shot. They can play for no shots if they want to, but it'll be a long outside 3 ball that skims off, no good. Missed by Malia Smith. Kept alive by Glacier Peak. Down to 4, down to 3. And Aaliyah Collins will say, that's that. We're done. And it will be the final score of 18-13. Glacier Peak with the win over the Snohomish Panthers. So the finals tonight, Glacier Peak over Burlington Edison 15-14. It was Lake Stevens over Snohomish 17-12. Lake beat Burlington Edison 19-15. And it was Glacier Peak 18, Snohomish 13. And those are your finals, the 4 games of this year's girls basketball jamboree here at Snohomish High School. For Todd Elving, I'm Tom Lafferty. We'll be back with you with basketball all season long, starting on Tuesday night, right here on STSPN.com. Good night, everybody.